This is the Northern Sweden Welding channel, and today we are doing the 6G 7018 all the way. The bevel is about 30 degrees and we got 2.5 mm of land. The gap is set to almost 3 mm. On the root pass we are running DC-EN, which means that the stinger is connected to the negative side. The reason for this is that when using DC current you get about 70% of the heat going into the positive side and 30% to the negative side. This will make the puddle run a little bit colder and also a little bit calmer, which is good when doing a root pass. If you hear me using any words that you haven't heard before, it's probably because I recently just invented those words. But I hope that you will at least understand the essentials. Here you can see me standing like a paper clip, but it's actually pretty nice and comfortable position to be welding in. And here we got some arc shots of the right hand side of the root pass, and you can clearly see how the arc punches through the gap and mostly going into the pipe, and that is what you want. And you don't want this 7018 to keyhole, just around the edges of the gap. You can clearly hear the strange sound that the arc is making, and that is because of the DC-EN. And here you got how I feather the root pass. If this is something that you have a problem with, you should really study that picture. To have good support is always a good thing, as long as it doesn't limit your movements. Another thing that I'm using while doing the root pass is remote control. This lets me adjust the amperage while I am welding. The adjustments that I make is generally very small ones, only a couple amps up or down, to always hit that good spot. And always make sure that the gap doesn't close too much on you, because I rather weld like a 4 or 5 mm gap than a 2 mm gap. The rod that we are using is an esab OK48.00, and for those of you who doesn't know, esab is actually a Swedish company from the beginning. It was founded by a man called Oskar Kjellberg in the early 1900s, and he was the inventor of the coated stick welding rods. And whenever you are picking up like a esab filler, you can see on the filler, like this rod for example, OK 48.00, it bears his name, Oskar Kjellberg. That is the OK. If you are ever visiting Gothenburg in Sweden, you can head to the Marine Museum over there and have a look at the esab IV, which is the oldest known fully welded ship produced by esab back in the 1920s. If you are doing most things right while welding this pipe, it should take around maybe 15 to 20 minutes, and you know that you're in a good place. Now when you got the root pass in place, you just have to knock down any high spots and you'll be fine. And now it's time for the cover pass, and today we are running 2 stringers. And now we have set the stinger to DC EP, which means that we have the positive polarity, which is the common thing. And now the arc sounds a little bit more familiar, and we got a stable arc and a nice going puddle. Now when we are doing the first cover pass, we want to fill up about 70% of the remaining groove. And as you can see, this requires a small weave, and make sure that the rod stays in the bevel and never go outside the lower edge. As you can see at this point, I have put the remote control away and turn up the amperage to about 90. And here we got the first cover pass going up the left hand side. About the Northern Sweden Welding channel, you can see that I don't upload videos like every week or so, perhaps not even every month, but when I do, you really don't want to miss it, so make sure to subscribe to this channel. And I'm still fairly new to this concept, and I'm learning along the way, and I think my videos is improving for each video I make. So, and this has become like a family thing, because today I got my wife behind the camera, and this is our child-free Saturday, so this is what we do. Very romantic. But after we was done filming, I actually bought her a hot dog, so I'm really not that bad. And here we got the arc shots of the final cover pass. This is the left hand side, and since we have covered most of the groove with the first cover pass, we only need to drag this last bead in a straight line. And here we got our finished weld, low profile both on the inside and the outside. You can see the root pass here went in really well, and free of any grind marks, no arc strikes or marks from the shipping hammer. Just a clean looking weld, and that is what you want. That's about it from the Northern Sweden Welding channel today. If you like what you just saw, you should share, like and subscribe, and perhaps see each other in the future.